Okay, here's my review of the Fallout TV show episode 5 titled I forgot, but let's just get right into it. This was the episode that people said was the downfall of the show. Seriously? Do people lack a sense of comprehension and reading comprehension with this stuff? All right. I'll explain that in a second. This was actually the episode that I wrote the most notes on. I have almost 3 pages here. So let's start off at the very beginning. I actually really like Mike or Max and Titus, that whole thing going on, and then it being betrayed to Thaddeus that actually I'm Maximus and so on, and then he runs off and everything like that with the head and uh he's like, "Oh, you lied. They're gonna kill you and everything." It makes sense. Like, even though they were all buddy buddy throughout the last few episodes, it makes sense that they're not gonna be like that. Whenever he's been thinking that it's been Titus this entire time, he just got branded, and he's like, "Wait, you're not Titus." But also at the same time, it feels like he would probably want to be relieved uh that it wasn't Titus, because Titus is apparently like one of the one of the worst knights out there, apparently to Thaddeus. So who knows? Okay, and then oh yeah, Lucy's whole anger scene after the fusion core was taken out and everything is really cool. Getting to see her shoot up a bunch of rad roaches and then help. And of course, she knows how to work power armor. Like, I saw that, and one of my immediate gut reactions was, "Oh my god, people are going to complain about this. Oh, how does she know how to do it?" It made sense. It was established in the very first episode that she's smart. She's great with science. And then, a few seconds later, it's like, "Oh yeah, we had a bunch of pre-war manuals lying over the place, and I studied through all of them." And yeah, it said that she already did that before. So, and she even was nerding out the same way that Max was, about the tampered lining and everything. Also, I like seeing radiation sickness. I like that. One of my favorite parts so far about the show is that they have been implementing everything, uh, mechanics of the games into the show as plot points, and it feels diegetic and it feels realistic, and I really like that, especially with the whole Radaway thing. Um, I really do enjoy that. We get to see more of 31, and uh, or we get to see more of 32, and I have a lot of thoughts with what's going on with 31. I have not watched ahead. These are always post episode. I open up OBS and I start recording. And I take the notes as I go, so these aren't notes that are after. Uh, the whole thing with 31 really seems really interesting, because they're all so weird. They're so I love how weird Vault Dwellers are. They're just so I've mentioned it every single time before this. They are so strange, and I love it so much. Then we get the little conversation between Max and Lucy. Oh my god, Max and Lucy. Was that the rabbits? I just realized. And then they're like, "So is it the Earth is round or the Earth is flat? Like, where are we standing 200 years later?" Um, I think one of my actually only complaints so far about the show is that the whole thing with the three council people and three people trying to fight over Overseer could have been done a little better. Not obviously spoon fed. I mean, I picked up on it and I could tell basically what was going on. But it did leave me kind of confused because it mentions that there's three vaults, and I was like, does that mean that there's only one overseer, or are there three overseers? Is was that who Woody and then Betty and then the other guy, are they all the overseers, or what was going on? Because they walk in the first episode with Lucy saying "Oh, I want to." For the marriage thing and everything like that, and there's the three people there, and oh wait, it actually might have been Actually, I haven't watched it again yet, but I think actually it was her dad, Betty, and then also someone else that was from 32 maybe. So who knows? But yeah, I do think that could have been done maybe a little better. Who knows? It's not redacting any points. I really love the dialogue. I think the dialogue is really really funny. Where they meet the fiends and they're like talking, and one of them goes, "You trying to fuck us?" and and Max goes, "The gun?" Or like it makes it sound like obviously he's still talking to Lucy, but it sounds like he's like, "You trying to fuck us?" And then he's like questioning like, "Trying to fuck the gun? What?" It just feels very Fallout because Fallout is known for just its weird. It's almost like Borderlands in a way, like how just the weird dialogue with mutant cannibals and everything. I love it. Uh, and I also seen the cannibal. It looks like a jet junkie actually, with the red eyes and everything. I'm pretty sure that was what that was a jet junkie, the first person that saw the Pit Boy, and drawed weapons. Then we get back to the vault and we get Woody looking at his thing, and he goes, "I even put up 10 posters." He goes, "You just gotta put up your posters and let democracy roll." Like that is such a funny line. That is so funny. Like, oh yeah, 10 posters and no campaign, no speeches, no nothing, no. What am I gonna do with the vault? Just put up posters and let it go. I mean, that's so funny. Uh, we've only seen a few people from 31, and I like. Again, we are not that far into the show. We're only halfway through at this point, and sure, some people could complain and saying like, "Oh, we needed more on 31," but it's a building mystery. It is 3 episodes left, each over an hour long. You got plenty of time to build the mystery now, and then have it still be impactful for reveal of whatever's going on. Next page. Uh, yeah, Vault 31, where her dad's from 31, and her mom might also be from 31, but Lucy is in 33, so I'm pretty sure it builds upon what we saw before with how there's, the dresses and everything, and like how multiple people came from before, and, they kind of like always exchange in between vaults, so it's kind of like a sifting pool, and I think that's really cool. The other thing with 31 is that a lot of the people we saw from 31, i.e., the pregnant lady, was her name June? I'm so bad with names. The eye patch lady, is that a lot of the ones that we saw from 31 are really violent. At least the examples that we've seen, right? Like, her dad is really violent, sticking the guy in the brine. By the way, I forgot to mention, that must be so painful. The brine of pickles in his wound. Oh god. Um, and then we see, spraying and everything. But then again, we saw a lot of people that were really violent there, and I just thought that was really cool. Um, I feel like the whole thing of everyone always seems to be from Vault 31 that is an overseer feels like maybe a bit of a reflection of like real world stuff where it's always going to be the same people, right? Or like real life kind of voting shit. It's always going to be the same people, even if you want another person and so on. Obviously, there's nuance to the situation, but I feel like it is trying to parallel that of like, there is no real blah 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 blah. There is no real democracy. It's only from one person. Blah blah blah. Okay, and then we get to the most controversial part of this episode. Shady Sands is destroyed. It's gone. The NCR is totally a crater in California now. And honestly, it makes sense. It does. I've been replaying the first 2 Fallout games because of the TV show, and everything that I've seen, everything that I remember from the lore and everything, it makes sense. I'm going to read it off exactly how I said. Shady Sands is post-war, and It's been a theme forever that things don't last forever. See New Vegas with the Legion and the NCR in that game. I saw a bunch of takes from Twitter being like, oh, well, Fallout can never have anything but, wooden shacks. They can't stand to potentially have a prospering civilization after an apocalypse. What are you talking about? We had New Vegas. I know that they're always talking about Bethesda's, but even Bethesda's, there was still a civilization with the Institute, right? There was still a civilization with the Brotherhood of Steel. And then there was also, obviously, with Massachusetts, of everything that was going on there. And obviously, a big theme of Fallout 76 is building civilization. And it does not feel like a retcon. It doesn't. It feels like natural progression of everything. Literally, if we really want to dissect the scene, right? To the viewer who don't know what Shady Sands, and then also to the players who do know what Shady Sands is. God, what a tongue twister. Is that the music in the background is somber and sad to tell you, the viewer, the person who knows what Shady Sands is, that, hey, that civilization that you've loved and you've built a connection to and everything like that, and yeah, well, it's gone now. Not in a way of it being a retcon, but in an actual, this is just a progression of the world. It's kind of like finding out, let's take fucking, I don't know, Avatar, The Last Airbender, right? 100 years into the future, and everyone's like, yeah, I can't wait to see Republic City. And Republic City is actually now, destitute, and it sucks. That's just a natural progression of the world. That's just how things move forward. Not everything lasts forever. And especially in the themes of Fallout. I mean, obviously, different universes, different themes, different circumstances, everything. But with Fallout specifically, of course, a prospering civilization that has already been established as running thin as of New Vegas is going to fall within the next few years. And depending on what your ending is, what your canon ending is, it could have happened sooner, it could have happened later. But it was going to happen anyway. The timeline also makes sense. It doesn't happen. So far, we see that Max is in his mid-20s, and he was, 6 to 9 at the time of the bombing of Sadie? Whatever, dude. Shady Sands, and the timeline makes sense. It lines up, right? We know that must have been after the fact of New Vegas, and after it was established and everything that was going on there. And then it's also after Fallout 4. Because this show takes place in 2294 or 2296. So it is some time after all the previous games. And if you don't believe me, one of the showrunners literally said, yeah, New Vegas is canon. Everything is canon. This is the timeline. And then even the original creator of Fallout 1 came out and was like, yeah, I love the show. It doesn't seem like it fits in so well with the timeline and everything like that. There's been thread after thread. And even if people are like, well, the show doesn't say that. You say that, but the show contradicts that. The show doesn't contradict that actually. You just aren't understanding the show. Let's see. Also, then we get to the hospital. I actually wrote down here, why isn't it destroyed? And I then thought, well, of course it's not destroyed. If it was a part of Shady Sands, that it would have stayed up longer, right? And then the destruction came, and people haven't gotten to it yet. Because it was a part of civilization, and, well, people haven't gotten around to that area yet, so, But then we also got the explanation behind it a few minutes later, and Okay, I'm pretty sure that Vault 31. Here's my entire theory: that Vault 31 is basically the head of everything. It's like the almost like the theocracy of everything. It's what's controlling everything and making sure that it applies to the rest of everything while also staying in line with the three democracy situation and everything. And then at the very end of the episode, we get to see Vault 4. Again, I love the fact that we got to see another vault. We've technically seen 4 vaults, and that is staying in line with the games in every entry where you get to see a lot of vaults. Um, this was a very short episode. It was not very long. It was only about 45 minutes, but there's a lot in it to enjoy. Again, I just keep enjoying the show every single episode. And this is not just me being a blind fanboy. I am very critical of stuff that I watch. If I don't like something, I just turn it off. I don't waste my time. Um, like, there have been a lot of shows that people have recommended to me, and I just don't like it, and I don't watch them. Like, I might continue to watch them just to see if they get good, but, and I might see it through, but after seeing it through and I don't like it, I'll say that I don't like it. And so far, I like Fallout. Crazy thing, I know. A lot of people are like, oh, it's bad. It's angry on Twitter. I need a gut reaction. I need to say everything immediately. And it's just stupid. It really is. If you don't like something, just say that you don't like it and then move the fuck on, dude. You don't have to make a 30-minute long video about how you hate it and then make more and more and more and more and more and just write it through. We get it. You don't like it. Stop just poking the fire just because you want more people to be angry with you. Anyway, other than that, I'm going to go continue watch another episode, make another video, and then I'm going to probably wait another day to continue watching. Yeah, click.